Hello. In this tutorial, I'll introduce you to the key elements of the Location tab at site level, including the data you can define at site level, the information in location templates, and how to set the hourly weather files for your simulations. As mentioned in the earlier tutorial on model hierarchy and inheritance, Designbuilder models are organized in a hierarchical structure. Default data is inherited from the levels above in the hierarchy, and at the top of the hierarchy is the site level. Site level data applies to all buildings on the site as it represents local geographic conditions like the climate. Regardless of how many buildings you add to your site, only one building can be simulated at one time. If you have a site, such as a campus with multiple buildings served from a single energy centre that provides district heating or cooling, for example, then you can model the separate buildings using different blocks. Please refer to the program help for further guidance on that. The Location tab is where all the geographical and weather-related information is defined. You can load a location template from the database by clicking on the Browse button here. When you select a location template, then the details for that location are loaded to the model. I will select Birmingham Airport from the UK location data folder, but there are thousands of ASHRAE location templates available here covering most countries. In the site location header, you have the latitude and longitude of the site. The ASHRAE climate zone input is mainly used in the context of ASHRAE 90.1 calculations. It is set according to the location template but can be overridden by selecting something other than the default climate zone from this drop-down list. Elevation above sea level defines the elevation of the site and is passed to any G+ for use in pressure-related calculations. The site surroundings affects how wind hits the building, and changing exposure to wind affects the U value for constructions because the wind exposure affects the external heat transfer coefficient. The different wind exposure options available are sheltered, typically used for a city setting or for its outskirts. Normal would be used in suburban areas, and the exposed option relates to flat, open countryside. Note that selecting a different option results in the external heat transfer coefficients for all the materials and constructions in that model being automatically updated. The site orientation is the angle of the site plan view relative to north. For example, I can enter 45 to rotate the building clockwise by 45 degrees relative to north. This is the quickest and most reliable way to rotate all the buildings on the site relative to north, and allows you to keep your X and Y axes aligned with the building. Note that the orientation for this tutorial example building has already been changed from the default of 0 to 180 degrees. North is indicated by the direction of the north arrow here. For a default new building, the north arrow would point towards the top left of the screen. Another key input defined on this tab is the weather. Designbuilder uses hourly weather data in Energy Plus format to define external conditions during simulations. The closest weather file to your location will automatically be selected when you choose the location template. You can select another weather file from Designbuilder's extensive library, or add your own file to be used in the simulations. How to import and convert weather data for use in Designbuilder will be covered in a later tutorial. Heating and cooling design and the auto-sizing simulations use simplified winter design weather based on a worst-case design day. The weather data used in heating design calculations is the minimum outside dry bulb temperature and the coincident wind speed. You can also select your confidence level in the amount of time that the design weather data will cover peak weather conditions and change the data if necessary. The weather data used in the cooling design calculations is based on the maximum outside dry bulb temperature, the wet bulb temperature at the time of the maximum dry bulb temperature, and the minimum outside dry bulb temperature. More details on coverage and related items are described in our program help and will be covered in the heating and cooling design tutorials. This finishes our quick review of the site-level data, location templates, and weather files in Designbuilder. If you want to learn more about the topics introduced in this tutorial, including top tips that will improve your modelling efficiency, then our Model Data, Activities, and Zone Merging on-demand training session covers these and other related aspects of Designbuilder. We hope you found this tutorial useful. Further information on the specific topics and wider application areas can be found in the comprehensive Designbuilder Program Help, other tutorials and webinars, and our on-demand training.